Welcome to Michigan Reimagined, presented by T.A. Forsberg and Wagoner Financial. And here's your host, Chris Buck.
So businesses today rely on technology more and more, and there's so many great outstanding IT firms assisting businesses large and small. Here to discuss the services provided and a unique scholarship program by Kinetix, Arts Director of Marketing, Jeremy Johnson, and Director of Technology, Mike Warmbier. Welcome to the show, Mike and Jeremy.
Hey, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
All right. Well, thanks for being here. Appreciate you joining us. So tell us about Kinetix as a company. Where are you located, and what's your service area?
So our first and primary office, which was started back in 1991, just north of Grand Rapids up in Kent City, is not too far from where our main office currently is up in Sparta.
Okay.
And we're also over in southeast Michigan between Ann Arbor and Detroit in Canton. So we've got the two offices now, and we've been operating that way since 2015.
Fantastic. So you have clients that are basically statewide? I guess in this day and age, it probably aren't hindered too much by geography.
No, not at all. We've actually got, several customers, whether it's East Coast or West Coast in one time zone or another. You're right. With remote tools, you can pretty much cover just about anywhere you need to be. But as far as feet on the street, boots on the ground, started over in West Michigan, as I mentioned, but just through organic growth and whether it was a personal relationship, word of mouth, referral, or maybe a sister company, we found ourselves traveling over to southeastern Michigan on a, somewhat of a regular basis. It was once a month, it was then twice a month, then it was 3 times a month. And before long, you end up with another client over there because somebody said you were doing something well. And it just made sense for us to plant another office. And that was in 2015. And here we are, so 8 years later. 9 years later, I guess now. We're still here in both offices, growing strong, and as I always say, since rebranding, if you will, back in 2001, 2002, it's been a very slow, controlled growth, continual year-over-year growth for us.
Well, congratulations. That's a testament to the services you must provide. So, like, if I'm a listener, what kinds of services do you tend to offer your clients?
So as a technology solution provider, early on in our infancy, if you will, we were basically taking telephone calls, heading on site, and fixing problems. Over the years, we evolved, whether it was new tools or needs of our customers or just learning what was necessary in order to keep up in the technology world. We moved into, what everybody is now coined as managed solutions. So we are an MSP, managed solution provider.
Okay.
And essentially, we partner with our clients. We really have a draw towards customers that either have little or no IT staff or are looking for a particular niche. Maybe they need help with a server migration. Maybe they're looking for a phone solution. And in those scenarios, we might do a one-off type project for them. But our primary customers are managed solution providers where we will put a complete security stack on each of their desktops, on the servers, on each of their devices. We put agents and tools on there so that we can actually get alerts. We can actually see what's going on behind the scenes. We can do that by logging in and watching them work or working with them to try to solve something. Or we can actually do it behind the scenes where they know we're working on it, but we're not impacting their job. We're not taking over their computers. And, we do that for, like I said, small to medium-sized customers. And we've got a support group that people can call into. They can email. And we really become their IT staff is essentially what happens in that relationship.
Well, that's just such a cost-effective, management tool, right? So if you're a small business, medium-sized business, to have a person or a team of an IT department that's on the clock 40 hours a week, it seems like your needs are a little bit more peak and valley and maybe front-loaded to get you set up and then kind of smaller needs throughout. So it seems like outsourcing, to a firm like yours makes a lot of economic sense.
It does. You're right. There's always that onboarding, if you will.
Yep.
There's always learning the customer, learning their processes. How can we fit even better than we thought we were going to be able to fit? But once you establish that handshake and you get things on an even keel, now it's not necessarily about supporting them. Yes, you're supporting them, but ideally you're taking them to the next level. And you're doing it in a way where you're offering them new tools or, in today's world with security, which quite frankly,
right.
it sucks. I mean, let's admit it. It's not fun to talk about security. It's necessary to talk about security.
Well, and so many of these companies just put their head in the sand, and it's not a matter of if, but when. And you don't want to find out how that all works once you're a victim, right?
Yeah, no, that's it exactly. You're right. It's almost like nobody wants to pay for auto insurance, but as soon as you're in an accident,
that's exactly right.
You got it. So we're constantly then trying to figure out what do we do next to help somebody do something faster, cheaper, and easier. So again, it's not just waiting for them to call and say it's broken. It's partnering with them to make sure that they are doing the right thing with their technology that they have and the technology budget that they have available to them.
Makes sense. So what types of customers do you tend to attract? Like, who, is there an industry type or a size of a business that tends to find your services are in their sweet spot, or do you kind of take all comers?
It's interesting because when we started, we were primarily medical and dental. And that's really just because of how the first few customers came about and who they were, and then the word of mouth. But then as we grew, and then we really rebranded and launched as Kinetix in January 2002. And when we did that, we went beyond the medical dental. And so we've got a lot of manufacturing, automotive, suppliers, accounting, financial organizations. So we're kind of across the board as far as that goes. Some of the as far as the size of the clients, I'd say we're really more geared towards that small to medium-sized customer. I mean, we are a small customer as well. There's 15 to 20 of us. But to be able to work with those folks that don't have IT staff or looking for a niche or looking for that small to medium-sized customer to partner with to provide their IT services, that's where we play best.
Understood. Well, talking about putting your money in the right places, I want to thank Wagner Financial. Are you ready to make smart financial decisions? Wagner Financial offers proven processes for financial transformation, empowering individuals at all stages, whether you're starting out, nearing retirement, or anywhere in between. Stop feeling unsure about your financial path. Wagner Financial can help you undergo a financial transformation. Schedule a consultation today to discuss your individual needs and discover how Wagner Financial can guide you through this transformation. Visit wagner-financial.com or call 517-853-3367. Excellent. All right. So now your program, is it kind of a fee for service as you use it, or is it a retainer where you pay a fee as a company to you and you're available 24/7 for emergencies that come up? How does that work?
That's a good question. So again, as I mentioned earlier, we really evolved. So we really have been focusing on what we call managed services, what the world calls managed services for the last probably 12 years or so, maybe 14 years. So managed solutions is certainly our preferred and most effective and quite frankly, proactive offering. This allows our clients to be able to be covered by the solution offerings that we've got, but it also offers the opportunity for them to have access to our support desk. We've got an unlimited support desk. They can call in, they can email, as I mentioned earlier. So the managed solution would be preferred, but we also offer a prepaid time block for those customers that maybe have more resources on their own, or they're not going to need us as often, or maybe they just need us for particular projects or for tier 2, tier 3 type stuff. So we work that way as well. But we also have what we call Kinetix Complete Care. This is truly, it's an all-inclusive option. And we're able to do this with our clients that we know best, and for the clients that we trust and trust us. And that really helps us to maintain their technology platform as we help them move through their own technology and then making sure that their technology platforms are kept up to date as technology evolves. So there's really three different ways to work with us. We really shied away from, the maybe you call it the unknown caller that says, I can't print. That used to be something that everybody used to do in the early 2000s because we were IT companies. But we can't do an effective job for clients like that we don't know. And if they're just paying us when something is broken,
right,
we're certainly nothing more than an expense. Sure, it's a valuable expense because we're fixing a problem for them, but we want to know our clients. And the cool thing is over time, not only do we know our clients, but our clients know us. So that's the managed services aspect of things.
Makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm really intrigued about your Future of IT scholarship program. So what is it and what prompted you to launch that?
That's more of a Jeremy thing, so I'm going to let him answer that.
Wonderful.
Mike is the brains of this call for our end here, and I get to do the fun scholarship work. So as we continue to grow as a company, we want to be benevolent. We wanted to give back to our communities that we serve. Many years ago, I started a scholarship program in a legal office I was in, and it was such a big hit. I brought it to the table here at Kinetix and got the green light. Everybody, here really loved the idea. So we, as an organization, made the decision to offer these scholarships to basically give back.
Got it. Okay. So how many scholarships are they, and kind of who's encouraged to apply, and how do they do so?
So we're offering 3 scholarships, $1,000 each. This is our inaugural year to kick this off, so we're hoping it's going to be successful. Any Michigan student that is in a computer science or an information technology field is encouraged to apply. There's a lot of subfields that fall into that: artificial intelligence, software engineering, data science. So a variety of fields are encouraged to apply if it falls under that computer science degree.
Got it. Okay. And so if I'm a student, are these, say, high school seniors that are planning on where they want to go post-graduation, or if I'm a junior at GVSU and am in that discipline, I mean, is it kind of all comers, or are you looking for a certain type of candidate?
There is a few guidelines to be eligible for these scholarships. Again, they must be a Michigan resident.
Yep.
Applicants must be enrolled in a certificate, undergraduate, or graduate IT program at a Michigan school at the time of our awards distribution, and that'll happen on July 8th. So they have to be enrolled in some sort of program. So if you're a high school student going into IT and you're enrolled in that school, you're eligible to apply. So it doesn't matter if you're in the certificate program, undergraduate, or graduate program, as long as you're enrolled.
Got it. And you mentioned you're going to announce in July the winners. Is there a deadline as to when they need to have their applications in?
Yeah, so we kicked off April 1st. Yesterday was the opening of it, and it ends, the deadline is June 30th at 5 p.m. So all applications must be submitted by then.
And where can the application be found?
The easiest way to find it is just go to our website, www.kinetixinc.com/scholarships. You'll find all the guidelines, all the information, how to apply, and everything you need will be there. You can also find our information on any of our social media platforms that we're a part of.
Got it. And Kinetix, Kinetix.
Correct.
KinetixInc.com. Fantastic. Okay, good. And, you said this is your inaugural turn, so I'm sure you're going to get more than 3 applicants.
That's the hope.
I would imagine your leadership team's going to scrutinize the applications and try to figure out who the most deserving folks are.
Actually, this is what kind of sets us apart from other scholarships. We wanted to be really fun and engaging with our scholarship program. We know students are busy, so we wanted to remove any kind of obstacles that might hamper them to apply. So our scholarships, we don't require letters of recommendation. We don't require transcripts. We don't require any financial information. And best of all, we don't make students do essays. So what do they do then? So we came up with an idea to let's engage with the Michigan IT students. So all they have to do is take a picture or a selfie and post a link on our website where you'll find all that information to be eligible, with some hashtags of future IT and Kinetix IT scholarships, and you're applied.
Fantastic. That's creative. And I got to tell you, you got to meet these people where they are, right? So that's the way the world works today and the future of our workforce. So I applaud you for being as savvy enough not to make people type it out on a typewriter and snail mail it to you and have a bunch of older white men reading review. You know, it's refreshing. That's good for you. I'm very happy to hear that.
It's a new age, and we want to be, we're a technology company. We want to be up to date with the technology.
Right. And so is the hope then, if you give this goodwill out there, that you might end up hiring some of these folks upon the completion of their studies?
We're always looking for talent in the IT fields. There is an optional box on our application form if you'd like us to contact you in the future about possible employment. We're always open to look at talent.
Excellent. Well, as we kind of get ready to come to the close on this interview, I want to thank another sponsor here at Michigan Reimagine. We tell stories of passionate Michiganders doing great things across the state. Today's podcast sponsor takes the art of positive storytelling to a whole new level. The good people at Good Marketing work with organizations across the state that are having a positive impact on the lives of Michigan residents. They help educate communities on the importance of affordable housing, the impact of wildlife and natural resource management, the availability of workforce development, and education programs. If it lifts people up and makes communities stronger, then they want to help spread the word. If your organization needs help communicating the good work you do, stop by their website at goodmarketing.com. That's GUD marketing.com. Excellent. All right. So you've got scholarships that are about ready to go. You've got a robust platform for service solutions for companies around the state and beyond. That's fantastic. Now, the scholarship program, you talked about it being the inaugural year. I'm assuming there's hopes that this will continue to recur?
Well, it's definitely my hopes and the company's hopes that we're really successful this year, where we can make this an annual program and hopefully expand it in the future if it's successful. Right on.
Well, I've mentioned a couple of times that they're, outsourced IT, service providers like yourselves are growing more and more prevalent. But one of the things that struck me when I was doing research for this was some of the differentiators. Why don't you share a little bit about the value proposition of Kinetix technology? What makes you, in your opinion, different than other folks people might find out there when they're looking for a partner like you?
That's a good question. That's always the question that you're asked, whether you're talking to somebody new or you're at a network chamber event or whatever it may be. I think some of the key points that I use repeatedly, you look at Kinetix, and there's 15 to 20 of us, but our average tenure is nearly 10 years. I'm not sure there's many customers out there that you could find, many technology solution providers out there that you could find that can say that their average tenure is nearly 10 years. We've got some people that have been here. Randy Goodfellow started the company 33 years ago. I've been working with Randy now for 23 years. We've got people been here for 10 years, 15 years. It's almost unheard of in the IT world. So what we then like to say is, not only do we know our clients, but our clients know us, and it really helps as you're collaborating on the back end. The other thing that's unique for us now anyway is we've got the physical office presence between West Michigan and Southeast Michigan. So quite honestly, there's really nowhere in the lower peninsula of Michigan or even northern Ohio or northern Indiana that we can't get to within a reasonable amount of time. And that's not to mention with our tools having the national footprint from a remote perspective. The other thing that's very unique, I mentioned earlier, we really kind of started, our core was we cut our teeth in the medical dental arena. And as a result of that, we've got many, many clients that are still medical dental. And I guess it's probably been about 10 years ago now, we made it a very intentional direction to become HIPAA certified. So I always like to tell people, open up the phone book, find all your IT companies. There's dozens of them. Find more than one of them that's actually HIPAA certified. I'm
Good
not
point.
sure you're going to find that.
Right.
And so that's a big deal for us. And we're a small company, but if you take a look at who is here and all of the experience that we've got with those that I mentioned, 33 years experience. I've been doing this for 33 years myself, 34 years. We've all worked for large companies also. So we work for the billion-dollar companies. We know how the billion-dollar companies work and operate, but we also realize that the small to medium-sized businesses don't have that budget. So how do you take what you've learned from a billion-dollar perspective and apply that to a small business? And everybody here is able to do that. So that's a big differentiator for us also. And then, the other thing is, this part of our, you look at our logo, and the logo says helping business profit through IT. IT's always looked at as an expense.
Yep.
If we can help our clients perform their jobs and be able to do it faster, cheaper, and easier by leveraging technology, whether it's existing technology that they have or adding something new, then we're paying for ourselves. And that then becomes a win-win. And that truly is our value proposition when it really comes down to it. How can we do something? How can we provide a service? How can we become a value to them rather than just an expense? And, the other points, by leveraging those other points and then capitalizing on those points and doing something that helps them do something faster, cheaper, and easier, we're paying for ourselves.
Makes a ton of sense. We've been talking to the Kinetix Technology Director of Marketing, Jeremy Johnson, and Director of Technology, Mike Warmbier. Jeremy, give us one more time. What's the website where people can find more about your services and the scholarship, and maybe social handles if you've got them?
Absolutely. You can go to www.kinetixinc.com. From there, you can go to the About Us section and find our scholarship information. You can look around our website, find out a little more information about us. You can also search Kinetix in our social media platforms of Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and X.
Fantastic. Well, it's been a pleasure really getting to know your company better, and thank you so much for the sponsorship or the scholarships you're putting out there for the future workforce. Keep up the great work, and hopefully we'll get you back on the show again for an update on how it went.
Sounds great, Chris. Thank you so much for having us. Absolutely
our pleasure. And I'll give a final shout out to my loyal sponsors, Forsberg Real Estate, Wagoner Financial, Triterra Environmental, Good Marketing, and the attorneys at Foster Swift. These are great people worth the call. And if you found this show as a one-off, I want to remind you can follow and subscribe Michigan Reimagined on YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and pretty much anywhere you find your podcasts. This is Chris Buck. Thanks for listening to Michigan Reimagined.